As you know, in Miami, we start our events promptly, and I want to make sure that this panel is able to start right at 9:15. So I am Antony Page, and I am the Dean here of the College of Law, and it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to FIU, FIU Law, and this 2024 Environment Forum. I see that my boss, Provost Behar, is here, so special acknowledgement. I personally think she has the hardest job on campus, and she does a fantastic job at it. So thank you for being here, Provost Behar. And thank you all for joining us at today and tomorrow's fascinating event. Now, just before we begin, I'd like to just say a bit about Florida International University. We are in our 51st year here, and we're one of the youngest Carnegie R1 institutions. The College of Law is even younger. We graduated our first class in 2005. Now, although the university is large, one of the 10 largest universities in the United States, more than 55,000 students, the law school is relatively small, about 550 students. We're also, and it still sort of surprises me how often people don't realize this, we are the only public law school in all of South Florida. We're also one of the most diverse law schools in the country. We're majority minority, plurality Hispanic, and roughly 40% of our student body are from the first generation in their family to go to college. One of the things, however, about FIU and FIU Law particularly is we focus most on outcomes. We focus most on the results that we're able to produce, that our students are able to produce. And our FIU Law graduates do very, very well. For 9 years in a row now, our graduates have had the top bar passage rate in Florida. And even more importantly than that, they have one of the best employment rates in Florida. Now, I'm particularly pleased about this event that we're having at the college. This is the third annual FIU Environment Forum, and it has really grown into something special. In my experience, there are very few academic conferences that bring such a rich diversity of disciplines and viewpoints. This program has been carefully crafted to foster a rich and respectful dialogue on a topic that is important and difficult and very, very contentious. This year's theme, Climate Tech and Coastal Resilience, brings us to the front line of climate change and climate issues right here in South Florida. And this topic, it's real, it's important, and it affects everybody. Our forum will kick off in just a moment with a session on AI, environmental data, and climate tech, where we will explore the cutting-edge technologies and analytics that are shaping our approach to environmental challenges. And then if you look at the program over the next day and a half, there are some fantastic panels covering things such as the Green Amendment and rights-based environmentalism, the promise and pitfalls of climate policy, strategies for coastal resilience, making sure that climate policy is in fact rooted in science, and a look at how hurricanes and regulations affect insurance in the state of Florida. I'd also note we're particularly excited about this year's Volo Foundation lecture and conversation on science and free speech, which is a timely reminder of the importance of open discourse in advancing our understanding and responses to global challenges. Each session is intended to not only impart knowledge, but to challenge our perceptions and encourage collaborative solutions. And I encourage all of us here to engage fully, question deeply, and especially to think critically. Seriously, the diversity of expertise and viewpoints that will be demonstrated here is really, really impressive and a fantastic opportunity. And I think it will be one that really promises to enrich what we all hope is going to be a more resilient and more sustainable future. So I'd like to thank in advance all of our panelists and speakers and moderators. I'd also like to thank and recognize Professor Mario Loyola. And I thought I was going to say he had just been caught in the worst traffic ever and hadn't made it, but he has just made it, so he's going to hear the nice things that I'm about to say to him, or say about him. Specifically, this Environment Forum, this is his vision. And visions are fantastic, but as I have sometimes said to the provost, visions without resources are just mirages. But here, this has been Mario's vision the whole time, and it is absolutely so impressive the way he has been able to execute and deliver on this vision. So thank you very much, Mario. At this point, let me turn over the microphone to him, and thank you again for being here.
Thank you. Go over to the podium. Is this working? Hi, everyone. So what Dean Page said is true. I was stuck in among the worst traffics I've ever seen in Miami, which is really saying a lot if you live in Miami. But then I thought to myself, wait, Dean Page is going to talk about me. What's he going to say about me? And luckily I have a very fast car, so I got here more or less on time. So I had prepared lengthier remarks, but we're now running into the first panel. So I will just say, I'll just limit myself to saying a few words about what I think has made this conference so special and why I'm grateful to be a part of it with all of you here today. We've all been to the typical academic conference, which is usually a collection of leading experts, but within a single discipline. We have, as a writer at think tanks in Washington, D.C., I've organized think tank conferences which often cover a more broad range of issues, but usually just from one political perspective or another. And you may have been to Aspen Ideas Festival, Miami Beach, or the Atlantic Ideas Festival in Washington. Those cover a broad range of topics, but have like almost kind of a Hollywood feel. No offense to Hollywood-level stars like Andrew Solinger here in the back, but and they cover a broad range of topics, but sometimes lack a real depth to the discussion. The FIU Environment Forum, partly by design, but partly by accident as well, a happy accident, has turned out to really capture sort of the best of all of those models. It's an academic conference that brings together a really fantastic array of disciplines, as Dean Page said, environmental science, law, computer science, data analytics, engineering, finance. It covers a broad range of important policy issues from different policy perspectives, and it has really become almost an ideas festival in its own right, not just bringing together cutting-edge work, but creating a forum for new ideas to germinate and to sprout. And the topic of our conference, Climate Tech and Coastal Resilience, tries to capture all of that with both the opportunities and challenges facing us here in South Florida. So I'm very grateful to be here with all of you to kick this off. And with that, thank you, Professor Murad Rice, and kick off this fantastic panel. Thank you.